Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Smart Choices on Radio Works World. I am your host. My name is GS Qureshi, and today I have a very special guest joining me. He is Val Jones. Well, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. And please, can you tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, sure, Qureshi. Good morning. Good morning to all the viewers. And as Qureshi says, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good time, as they say. A little bit about myself. Married, over 50, shall we say. Not going to go any further than that. But yeah, married to lovely wife Lynn, have a couple of grandchildren. And as I suppose most entrepreneurs have done a lot in my life, spent the first 25 years of my life working in corporate. I don't know how many people can kind of relate to that, but I'm sure many can. Initially, it was in the motor industry, and I was working with a manufacturer, BMW, and worked with them for, well, it must have been 12 years, I think, in total, and had various positions within the company, but eventually wanted to move to what they termed the dark side, and moved into the retail environment. And there I went, joined a company called Jardine Motors in the UK, but it's part of the Jardine Matheson Group. Some people may have heard of them. Very, very big in Asia, particularly. I think they're actually the largest supplier of Rolls-Royces and Mercedes in the whole of the world, as it were. But there you go. Massive, massive company. And I spent quite a long time with them, basically working my way up in the company into senior positions, and had a great time traveling the world, doing all sorts of things, and really, really enjoying myself. And but the thing was, with all these things, when you're in corporate, and you are working away from home, which I was quite a bit, you suddenly realize that you begin to miss things. And I realized that I was missing my family, and in reality, and something I'll touch on later, probably when I chat with Qureshi, I really did understand at a later date what missing my family meant. In terms of what I've done, yes, I've been through those sort of senior positions within a PLC, ran companies, had a great time, but then also went to run a business, well, a couple of businesses, but the first one for myself, with my wife Lynn. And we also had a partner. Let's just say probably the worst decision I ever made in my life was bringing in a partner. But there you go. You don't know about these things until it happens. And whilst I thought the business was going very, very well, over a 2-week period, we lost the business completely. A couple of things that were done which were done without my knowledge. These things happen. You pick yourself up, you get on. And I then moved into the world of finance, as it were, looking, in terms of financial investments, etc. And I spent quite a bit of time doing that until about 4 years ago, where we met Andy McWilliams, who is a person who is very close to me at this time, somebody that introduced me to the line of work that I now do, which is network marketing. But I'm sure we'll talk more about that as we go through this interview. So I'll hand back to you, Qureshi, on that one.
Oh, right. Thank you. Wow. That's thank you very much for that introduction. You've got a huge wealth of experience that in the corporate structure that you have been through. And so, well, if I may ask that, what was it that attracted you to network marketing?
Well, I think the major thing, Qureshi, is, and I'll go back to the time when I was working in corporate, and it must have been 7 years ago now. I was sat with my children. I've got 2 boys, One of them now has two children. So I've got two grandchildren, two granddaughters, which are my life basically. But I was sat chatting to my boys and I was asking them, what is it that they remembered about me as their father and them growing up? And it was the usual things, yes, they remembered our holidays and, things that we bought for them and various other bits and bobs. But neither of them could actually remember at any time did I go to any of their school plays. Neither of them could actually remember at any time did I go to any of their sports days. And it really hit me that I hadn't actually seen my children grow up. And the interesting fact that came home to me was that they both said that they remembered on a Friday night that they would travel to Heathrow to watch me come in, and my plane was the one that came into Heathrow on a Friday night after Concorde. Tells you how long ago that was. But it's interesting that's one of the things that they remember. And it struck home to me right at that time that I hadn't seen my children grow up. Now, as I mentioned, I have my eldest son Matthew is married to a lovely lady, Leanne, and they have two children, two lovely granddaughters for me, Lily and Sophie. And I realised that I hadn't seen my children grow up, but I wasn't going to miss my grandchildren growing up. And with network marketing, what that actually allowed me to do, or has allowed me to do, is it has allowed me to move. I moved, over 100 miles so I could be with my grandchildren. It's actually given me my time back. It's given me the opportunity to do what I want to do. And that's really what's attracted me to network marketing.
Brilliant, brilliant. Wow, that's fantastic. And what I would like to ask is, there are lots of people out there looking for opportunities, and there's a lot of opportunities around as well. And so, what advice, would you give to the people, to our viewers who are listening? What advice would you give who are looking for opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question, Qureshi, is the answer to that. And the first thing I would say to people is you've got to find something that you're passionate about. And the major thing as well is that if you're working with the product, you've got to find something that works. So from my perspective, the first things first, we have a smart coffee, which I'm involved with. And the one thing I wanted to make sure, first of all, was that it worked. And it does. It does everything that it says on the tin. And I'm sure that, or tub as it is, and I'm sure we'll talk about what that is later on. But the major thing is, does it work? Yes, it does. That's fantastic. And for me, it provided me with a story. And the story allowed me to actually be the person who was able to say, hey, wow, this is fantastic. It actually works for me. This is brilliant. I am so pleased with what this is doing for me. So you then have this product, and you're then saying, okay, so we've got a product, we've got an opportunity. How good is the opportunity? The great news for us from a network marketing point of view is that we're only in 3 countries. We're only in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. And really, we've only been in the United Kingdom with the coffee since February. And what that means, it means we've got a fantastic opportunity. So if you are looking, at network marketing, look to see how big the opportunity is. What does it mean? How can I grow? And for us, what it means is that we've got hundreds of countries effectively that we can go into. And if you take the UK as an example, the UK is the most multiculturally diverse country that there is in the world. What that means is we have more tentacles into the rest of the world than anyone else. So the opportunity for somebody in the UK right now is phenomenal, because we've got all of Europe, all of Asia, all of Africa, all of South America still to go to. And a lot of that will be driven through the UK simply because we have that opportunity in terms of we've just arrived here and now we're going to be going forward from that point. So if somebody is looking at something to do within network marketing, make sure the product works, make sure the opportunity is there, so that you know that you have something you can build on and you can actually take forward and basically achieve your dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. So the product is the important element in this, as well as the company's integrity and so on and so forth. And what would you say is different about your smart coffee as compared to other similar products in the market?
Yeah, look, it's like everything else, that there will always be competitors out there, and you know, I don't care what you do. It's like saying, well, we sell. Take the car industry. You know, I was involved in the car industry, and there are all sorts of different cars that people buy, and you have choices in terms of the car that you buy. You can buy a Yugo, or you can buy a Rolls Royce, depending on your budget. For the coffee itself, there are other coffees out there, but why is ours different? The best way of describing that is that we went to the formulator who formulates the coffee for us, and we said to them, look, you know, we don't know anything about this other than the fact that it does what it says it does, which is it gives you energy, it helps you lose weight, it gives you clarity of thinking and focus, you know, and we know that it does those sorts of things. What we want is for you to give us the best version of the coffee that you can give us. And the
Okay.
guy who formulates said, really? Nobody's ever asked me that before. What usually happens is people come along and say, this is what I wanted to do. And we said, no, we just want you to give us the best version you can. What we have is the best version. And in his own words, he said, if you compare our coffee to what's out there on the marketplace, if they're a 4 or a 5 out of 10, we're a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And that's the difference. And that's from the formulator.
Brilliant, brilliant. That's fantastic. That's really, I mean, great to know that. And with this network marketing, we hear lots of stories, people losing money and so on and so forth, and some people not making money. And is it really, can one make some money in network marketing, or with this opportunity? Some
Yeah,
real money.
yes. Okay. Yeah. The answer to that is yes, you can. If you in network marketing, you can make money. But the thing is, for if you take this opportunity per se, take this opportunity on its own, the investment to get into this opportunity is £50. Now, I don't know many other network marketing companies where the only thing you ever have to pay is £50. Now, look, you can pay more because you can buy stock and various other bits and bobs, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to buy stock. You don't have to, you know, there's no sort of monthly recurring fee that you have to pay if you don't want to. But the question was, can you make money in network marketing? Well, if you take my wife and I, Lynn and I started the RevitalU coffee. We started in February of this year. And at that time, we both had full-time jobs. So we were doing this part-time. What I will say, with any opportunity, it only works if you do. So you have to actually do something. And what it meant for us is that we knew what we wanted to achieve. We knew where we wanted to be. We're still working towards what we would term our why. And what we wanted to do meant we had to sacrifice a few things. So kind of the telly kind of went in the evening, so we don't bother watching telly anymore. But while we were working full time, when we'd come home, we would spend a couple of hours each night working on our business, working on the RevitalU business. What it's meant that we've built a team around us. We've got some great people. But with RevitalU, the interesting thing is that 80% of our revenue comes through our customers. We are a customer-centric organization. And what we do is we don't sell anything to anyone. We sample people. So we send out a sample to people and say, look, try this for me. Tell me what you think. And if you want some more, you can go into my website and purchase it from my website. And guess what? We give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. That works so well because people are able to sample the coffee, try it. If they like it, it's fantastic. And if they want it, they can then go in and buy some more. And they know they've got that 30-day money-back guarantee. With that, my wife and I, Lynn and I, actually developed our business. And by the time we got to September of this year, we were both able to give up our full-time jobs. Now, what does that mean in terms of income? I'm not going to tell you everything, obviously, but what I can say to you is that in September alone, we as a couple earned more money than Lynn did working full-time for 12 months in her job. So hopefully that gives you some idea of the type of money that can be earned and the speed at which it can be done.
Fantastic, fantastic. So there's no risk in this at all, because the person is not investing anything, is not stocking any coffee. All it's online, and it's just question of £50 to get started. So that's really amazing. And the coffee itself is as you're saying, it's guaranteed to give results. If not, one gets a full refund within the first 30 days. So it is an amazing opportunity what you have described. And can you just give us a bit more information on the coffee, if you can, please?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the coffee, it's totally natural. All the ingredients are completely natural, and I think most people would want to hear that. And yes, it is gluten-free for those people who want to know that as well. So, you know, the coffee is natural. In terms of all the ingredients, they're available to look at on our websites. Most of them have incredibly long words that are associated with them. But what they do three things or four things in particular. What they do is they give you energy. So they have several compounds in there that help give you energy and give you a boost during the day. For me, what I found was I was at my age, and I know I don't look that old, but at my age, around about 3 o'clock, I was finding things a little bit. I was getting tired. And I'd be wanting that 10-minute cat nap, as it were. But now with the coffee, the energy it gives me takes me right the way through the day, and that is, you know, all down to part of the ingredients. In there as well is an appetite suppressant. And what that means is that whilst you're still eating your 3 meals a day, and we advise everybody to do that, what you're not doing is you're not eating as much. And the thing that it does is it also metabolizes sugars. So you don't get those cravings for the snack attacks, as it were. I was terrible for chocolate and sweets and crisps and things like that, particularly at 9 o'clock at night when I'd start to get the munchies and think, I've got to have something to eat. And I'd hit the biscuit barrel and all the rest of it. And it takes away those cravings. So you naturally, as a result, begin to lose weight. Now, what did that mean for my wife and myself? Well, over a 5-month period, we both lost over 20 pounds. But from my wife's point of view, the great thing for her is she's now lost 3 dress sizes. Mm-hmm. And apart from the ingredients helping you lose weight and helping your appetite and metabolizing your sugars, what it does do is it attacks those areas of fat that we all want to get rid of. And as you know, a happy wife means a happy life. So, yeah, it's all good at the moment.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. Just taking away from the smart coffee for the moment, you've got wealth of experience. Well, have you considered sharing that with the rest of the world? Maybe writing a book or something along those lines?
Do you know what, Qureshi? I have a book which I did start writing, and it's called The 100-Year Business Plan.
Wow.
And most people would turn around and say, that is madness. What are you talking about? You won't live that long. Absolutely. You're so right. No, I won't live that long. But it's all about legacy and what you want to leave. Exactly. And it's interesting. The first question I would ask in the book is, I would say to everybody, the one question I want to ask you is, You all have had great grandparents. Can you name them?
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of people can't. So the answer
Sure.
to that is that what you want your legacy to be?
Mm-hmm.
That your great grandchildren don't know who you are and can't even name you? And that's really, from a book perspective, that's where it would start. And yes, it would go into a bit more depth than that, but it's all about leaving a legacy. What is it you want to leave on this planet? Because there has to be more to life than just working and then, shuffling off this mortal coil, as they say.
Correct. Yes, that's really that's really good. I'm glad you've already started. And with Radio Works World, they have a fantastic support and like a complete A to Z guidance as to having it. Published and everything. So I mean that would be really wonderful to connect and we've got a few more minutes. We're coming up towards the end and something you want to tell us that when you came across some big challenge in life when you had to make a decision and you had two ways to go this way or this way and you came out with some smart decision which turned out to be fruitful.
Yeah, I think we all have challenges in life one way or another, and I've been very blessed in my life, Qureshi. I've been very fortunate that I've had I've been married to the same lady for 30 years. I have two great children who didn't cause me any problems. I didn't have drugs or anything like that to deal with. They were really good boys and still are. Really good boys is the answer to that. But I think the biggest challenges for me didn't come on a personal level, but came in a business environment. And it was really when I started my own business for the first time, went into business with a partner, and for whatever reason, it didn't quite work the way I'd hoped it would. And over a 2-week period, we lost everything. I'd invested personally around about $500,000 in cash, and we just it was the most devastating thing that could have happened to me. Now, I should have seen it coming. I can turn around and say it wasn't my fault. I didn't know that it was going to happen. But, the fact is that it did happen and we were left with virtually nothing. We were very fortunate that our house was in my wife's name, so that didn't go. And even though we were a limited company, we still ended up with a huge amount of debt. And there's two ways you can deal with that. You can either curl up in a ball and think, oh, woe is me, why is the world doing this to me? Well, I actually realized that most of the world would turn around and say, well, why not you? At least it's you and not us. So, the fact is, you've got a choice. You can sit there and bemoan the fact that you've had some bad luck, or you can actually do something about it. And, we as a couple picked ourselves on, as it were, an income coming. It never stopped me wanting to actually develop my own business again. And, through network marketing, that's given me the opportunity to actually do that. And now I look last year, and we were doing okay. We were doing all right. We were getting by. And I look at where we are now. I can't believe the difference in the lifestyle that we now have compared to what we had. And that's in a 12-month period. And it's about making those choices and saying to yourself, I can do this. I can change this. But honestly, it's down to you. You've got to want to do it. And if you get back up from the mistakes that are made, you take on board the lessons that you've learned, you and you're prepared to do something about it, then you know that it will happen for you. You know, I'm a great believer in that you get out of life what you put into it.
Exactly. So that can be summed up like the failure is not to be looked at as, like you said, be complaining, but first attempt in learning, and then you move on. Take that as a big lesson, which you did.
Yeah.
And
Expensive attempt, yeah, it was an expensive lesson, but there you go.
yes,
No, it was worth it. Absolutely. Would I change anything now? No. For what I've now got, I would still tread the same path, because what I now have as a result of that is worth more than anything I could even comprehend.
Well, also, if I can just add, apart from having a great business and leaving a legacy, along the way, you're making changes to a lot of lives as well. You've helped change a lot of lives as well. If you'd like to just say something on that as well, please.
Yeah, look, the business isn't just about like myself and my wife and what it's done for us. Our goal is to help as many people achieve what we've achieved as possible. And we just want to get the message out there to people and say, look, everyone can do this, and we will help as many people as possible do it, because we've actually, we've been there, worn the t-shirt, as it were, and what we want to do now is help people get a fast start in life, get things moving forward. And it can change. You don't have to sit there and think this can't happen to me. It can. It can happen to everybody, and we can help them do that. And it is just nothing simple. It's a simple business. It's not easy. You've got to do some work, but as long as you're prepared to do some work, we can help change people's lives. And as I say, the major thing about this is we are so at the beginning that everybody has an opportunity to make something more than they've currently got or have in life.
Very good, very good. So the support that is given to any individual who comes into your team, he or she is looked after at all levels, at right up to the leadership level. So that's something which is really fantastic. So really sorry. Do you want to say a few words to finish off? We got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think the one thing I'd want to say, Qureshi, is that we do want to help people. We do want people to take advantage of the opportunity, but we also understand it's not for everybody. We do know that, but what we can say is that even if you've tried network marketing before, or even if you've not tried network marketing, this is a product that works. This is a product that actually does what it says on the tin. This will give everybody an opportunity to at least try and achieve the goals that they want to achieve. We will do everything we can to help them. It doesn't matter what level they are, etc., in terms of where they come into our organization. Anybody who wants our help, if they reach out to us, and we will reach out to them as well, but if they reach out to us, we will give them all the help that they need, because everyone deserves a chance to enjoy the life that they really should have.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Val, for joining us today. And we really appreciate your input, your story. We really enjoyed it, and I hope all the viewers did as well. And we thank you from Radio W.O.R.K.S World, and hope to be working together for many, many years to come. Thank you very much, Val.
Thank you, Qureshi, and we will indeed. All the best.
Yes. Okay, thank you.